It's payday. Your phone lights up, your balance finally shows $2,163, and within 24 hours, rent, cards, and bills drag it back down close to zero again. Same month, same routine, same knot in your stomach. If you earn somewhere between about $1,500 and $4,000 a month and still feel constantly stuck, how do people like you quietly end up with a $500 cushion when you can't even keep $50 in your account? Across thousands of households, even a small cash buffer of $300 to $500 cuts overdraft fees, late charges, and those "how am I going to pay for this?" moments over the next year. It's not glamorous, but it's the difference between every flat tire being a crisis and being an annoying problem you can just deal with. If you're wondering how to realistically save your very first $500 when you already feel like you're doing everything you can, you're in the right place. This is Wealth Mentor Pro, where every lesson is a step closer to your freedom. In this episode, we're unpacking one clear idea: how people who feel always broke save their first $500. And the answer isn't a side hustle, a secret app, or a lecture about coffee. Most videos on this topic start with "build a full emergency fund" or "start investing right now," and quietly assume you've got hundreds of dollars free each month. You don't. So we're going to do this differently. Think of this video as a calm, low-stress route from $0 to $500, built for someone earning $1,500 to $4,000 a month who is tired of restarting from zero. By the end, you'll know 3 quiet moves people who feel always broke use without turning their life upside down, and one 1-minute payday ritual that helps that money actually stay in your account. First, let's talk about where you are right now. Imagine trying to drive through a city you don't know, with no map and no street signs. You keep turning, backtracking, burning fuel, and somehow ending up in the same place. That's what money feels like when you're always broke. A lot of effort, no clear direction. So let's put one simple street sign on your financial map. Say you earn $2,000 a month. Rent is $900. Bills and groceries eat another $800. The last $300 disappears into stuff. Takeaways, random online orders, a few nights out. You never see $300 sitting there because it's spread out. $12 here, $19 there. The first thing people who break out of this pattern do is very small. They stop aiming for $500 and they aim for $50. Not save $500, just find $50 once. Here's one small step you can take. Tonight, scroll through your last 30 days and mark the expenses you wouldn't really miss. A $9 subscription, a $16 delivery fee, a $20 impulse order. Your only job is to find one cluster of about $50. Then open a separate space, another account, a savings pot, anything, and move that $50 there with the label "First Cushion." If you skip this and wait for a better month, you already know what happens. Nothing changes. You stay in the same part of the city, driving in circles, burning energy and time. You might be thinking, okay, I can maybe find $50 once, but every time I start to save, something hits me and I'm right back to zero. That's not bad luck. That's the part most advice skips, the so-called unexpected expenses that arrive like clockwork. Think of your money again like directions on your phone, but this time there are hidden potholes the app never shows you. The route looks smooth, but your car keeps slamming into the same holes. In real life, those potholes are things like a $120 school trip, a $90 dentist bill, a $70 birthday, or a $200 car repair. For someone on $2,300 a month, even one of these can erase months of careful saving. People who feel always broke and finally move past it do something important. They stop pretending those hits are surprises. They start treating them as part of the road. For example, look back over the last 90 days in your bank history. Add up anything that felt like, "This ruined my month." Maybe it totals around $300 over 3 months. That's about $100 a month. You might not be able to set aside $100 yet, but you can probably start with $20 or $30. Write one simple line somewhere you'll see it. Annoying stuff, $30 per month. Then open a second mental or actual bucket just for that. Even if you only put $15 to $30 in, that small amount will soften the blow. Next time, when the dentist bill or school trip shows up, your new cushion doesn't take the whole punch. If you ignore this and pretend the road is smooth, every pothole will keep smashing the bottom of your financial car, and your first $500 will never really stick. There's another layer almost no one talks about, and it isn't in your transaction list. It's in your relationships and in your head. When you've spent years feeling always broke, saving doesn't feel safe. It can feel like you're taking away the only small joys that make the grind bearable. It can also feel awkward or selfish around other people. Picture this. You've slowly built up $180 in your new cushion. You're proud of it. Then a friend says, "Come on, just grab the tickets. You've got money now." Or a family member hints they need help. You look at that $180 and feel guilty for wanting to keep it. Many people drain their first savings not because of real emergencies, but because they don't yet see that money as a boundary. This is where how people who feel always broke save their first $500 becomes less about numbers and more about identity. The people who get to 500 quietly decide that a certain amount is not extra money. It's a safety wall. For someone earning $1,800 a month, that first wall might be $100. For someone on $3,200, maybe it's $200. Below that line, the money is not for birthdays, nights out, or guilt-driven favors. It's for rent, food, health, and keeping the lights on. Choose your first do not cross number. Maybe it's $50, maybe $100. Say it to yourself. Below $100 is safety money, not spending money. If you don't make that decision, your cushion becomes just another pile of cash that disappears the first time someone says, "Can't you just help this once?" Before we shift gears, I'd like to hear from you. If you had to pick a starting safety line today, would it be $50, $100, or $200? Drop the number and one short reason in the comments. Saying it out loud, even in a comment, can quietly lock it in. Here's the twist most people miss. Your first $500 has very little to do with being perfectly disciplined. It has a lot to do with how many times you repeat a few small moves without overcomplicating them. The part you don't see in highlight reels is that for most low and middle income earners, taking 4 to 8 months to save $500 is not failure. It's a solid, realistic win. So let's turn everything we've talked about into 3 simple rules you can actually live with when life gets messy. Rule 1. Break $500 into 3 checkpoints. $50, $200, $500. When you stare at $500 from zero, your brain shuts down, but $50 feels doable. $200 feels like real progress. $500 feels like a quiet milestone. Each checkpoint changes something specific in your real life. At $50, you prove to yourself you can keep money without spending it. At $200, you can handle a smaller bill, like a utility back payment, without complete panic. At $500, you can survive a basic car repair or a medical visit without dropping into overdraft. Take a concrete example. You earn $2,100 a month. You decide to hit $50 in the next month by cutting a $15 subscription, trimming $20 from eating out, and selling one item for $20. That's $55. You move it into your cushion and celebrate checkpoint 1. Over the next 4 months, you add $40 to $60 each month, reaching $200, then $500. The benefit isn't just the money, it's that you get to feel, "I'm someone who finishes things," instead of, "I never get there." Rule 2. Move money to the cushion in the first 24 hours after you're paid. When income hits, every dollar is loud. Rent is loud. Debt is loud. Friends and ads are loud. Savings is quiet. If you wait to see what's left at the end of the month, there is never anything left. People who feel always broke and finally move past it share a habit. They move a small amount out of the way before the noise starts. Imagine your paycheck lands on Friday, $2,400 into your account. Within the first day, you move $30 into your safety pot and $20 into your annoying stuff pot. That's $50. Not huge, but claimed. The benefit is that you don't make 100 small decisions later. You made one clear decision early. Over 6 months, that alone can build $300. Add any small extras, like a $40 slice of a tax refund or $25 from selling something you don't use, and your cushion grows faster than you expect. Rule 3. Make your cushion slightly inconvenient to spend. If your safety money sits in the same account as your daily spending, with a card attached, it will constantly whisper, "Just this once." After a long day or a bad week, "just this once" is very persuasive. People who protect that first $500 build friction into their system, so they have to think twice before touching it. You might keep your cushion in a separate savings account with no card and no instant payments connected. To use it, you have to transfer the money back, which takes a few taps and a moment of honesty. You can give yourself a simple rule. I only move money out of here for rent, food, health, or keeping the lights on. The goal isn't to never touch it. The goal is to only touch it for things that truly protect your life. If you earn $1,900 a month and a $300 emergency hits, you'll still feel it, but you won't spiral into fees and panic the way you did when your balance was $11. So what about that 1-minute ritual I mentioned at the start? Here's the small habit that ties everything together. On every payday, before you pay a single bill or tap your card, you do a tiny check-in. You open your banking app and look at 2 numbers, your current balance and your cushion balance. Then you say one sentence in your head. Today, I'm moving X dollars to keep future me safe. Maybe that number is $20 this month. Maybe it's $60. You transfer it, you hit confirm, and you're done. 1 minute. Over time, this becomes the quiet heartbeat of your financial life. No drama, no complicated system. Just a repeating moment where you remind yourself that you matter enough to be protected. The picture we started with, your balance spiking and then crashing straight back to nothing, starts to change. It still rises and falls, but now there's a floor, not a castle, not a fortune. Just a solid $500 that means the next bad week isn't the end of the world. How people who feel always broke save their first $500 is less about squeezing every bit of joy out of your life and more about drawing a small, respectful line between you and chaos. If this episode gave you even one small step you can take this month, let me know in the comments which of the 3 checkpoints you're aiming for first: $50, $200, or $500. You've spent years surviving with no map and no margin. Now you're learning to give yourself a little space to breathe. If this helped you, feel free to like the video and subscribe for more calm, practical money guidance. This is Wealth Mentor Pro. When you're ready, there's another quiet, practical lesson waiting for you in the next video.